We grew up going to museums. We love museums. We just also felt that there was a new approach that one could do with the museum experience, you know. And if you want to go see Jackson Pollock's, go to the MoMA. And if you want to go see clay pots from, you know, America 100 years ago, go to the Natural History Museum. And if you want to go see Rothko's, go to the Met. And if you want to see, you know, various forms of fake vomit from around the world, or counterfeit money, or dictaphone notes from Al Goldstein, or, you know, surf and turf potato chip bags, or toothpaste tubes, or objects made by prisoners, then you come to a museum. We believe that these objects tell great stories about who we are these days as a society, and that museums traditionally house works that already have great historic value, but that there wasn't a museum that housed the narratives of the everyday or the vernacular, these modern day artifacts. So we also saw that there was kind of something missing from the landscape of museums and that experience.
The curation process is a crazy, insane process, and we find ourselves arguing over such small, kind of incredible details. Oh, this vomit isn't as good as the other one because there's a lot more yellow or hue. You know, it's like we're picking out these small little things, but they're very important.
Yeah, not to inflate the job of a curator, but you really do get a sense that it is a medium in its own right. You know, that we're painting a portrait of humanity, and we're choosing specific objects that are kind of doing it in a we try to avoid kitsch, and we try to avoid anything that has any sentimental value. So we're looking at it almost like scientists.
And of course there's a value in aesthetics, but ultimately that's not what it's primarily about. That it's really about what does this particular object say to us about the year 2013, or about America, or about the world. And when that single object is in relation to its greater collection, what note does that add to the narrative? So it's very much, each is a kind of microcosmic element, as well as very interconnected to the rest of the kind of story that's being told.
Each shelf is a different wing, per se, of a museum, and each shelf represents a different collection and a different set of objects that once you leave, you have a bigger idea, and you sort of go out into the world looking at objects around you in a different way, and that's sort of the goal.
And it's also, you know, I think in a way, not intentionally, but hijacking the notion of a museum to create with it what we want, you know, to take our traditional expectations of what a museum is and the experience of going to one, but kind of subverting what it actually is that you go to look at. And I think that, you know, we're focusing on what we call modern day artifacts. Small things that find their way into existence in the everyday from cultures around the world that, again, tell us about who we are and the way we think and what we're making or what we're buying. And that, you know, we believe that you can learn just as much from exploring a collection of toothpaste tubes from around the world and infer just as much about the similarities and differences between societies from doing that than you can from reading the newspaper every day or studying poli-sci in college. That you can really learn a lot from the small things.